Hey everybody, it's Mike Watson here. Just wanted to post a video today on highest and best use real estate investing. I've had a lot of new people come to the program and ask for a very simple explanation of what it is that we do and how it will benefit them. And the goal of highest and best use real estate investing is simply to stop seeing real estate for what it is and start seeing it for what it can be. Now let me explain to you what that means. So what is it we do? So highest and best use is based on the premise that there are many properties out there in the market that are not currently using their best available use. Properties have many other uses available to them per the city zoning, but they're not currently utilizing them. So you might ask, well, what do you mean by uses, Mike? So how a property is utilized is its use. And most people don't know this, but most cities allow for up to 150 different uses within their city boundaries. For example, a house on a lot, that's a single family residence, that's its use. A fourplex on a piece of property is, it being a fourplex is its use. If you have a property that has a gas station, the gas station is the use. So the question becomes, what's the highest and best use? So the highest and best use is simply identifying the best uses available in an area per the zoning in the city, and then finding properties that are not using that best use and making changes. Because what we've learned is that once you change the use of a property, you immediately change the value. You typically significantly change the value. So change the use, change the value. Change the use, change the value. Now, how do we know? You might ask now is, gosh, how do we know which is the better or higher use, the highest and best use? Now, typically, the response to that is the more the merrier. More is better. Now, what I mean by that is this: density equals dollars. That's one of our very favorite sayings in our program here. Density equals dollars, and more succinctly put, and aptly put, we'd love to make properties become more dense. Density equals dollars and big profit. So here's just a couple of simple examples of density. So you buy a little house on a big lot, tear it down and build a fourplex or a sixplex or an eightplex. 8 units in an apartment, 8 is better than 1. 8 is more valuable than 1. 8 is more profitable than 1. So we take out the lower use and put in the higher use. Let's say you take a 10-unit apartment building. That's one building, one property converted into 10 condos. That's now 10 properties. 10 is more dense than 1. 10 is more profitable than 1. Take a large piece of land and then turn it into many building lots. I buy 10 acres, I turn it into 45 building lots. 45 building lots, I guarantee you, is worth a lot more than one 10-acre parcel. Taking a house with a bigger lot and creating a flag lot on the larger lot so that the lot goes from one lot to 2 lots. And instead of having one house on a larger lot, we have 2 houses on 2 lots. Typically, that's going to be much more valuable. We can also utilize a PUD, a PAD, a PRD. Those are planned unit developments, planned area developments, and planned residential developments to add more units and owners. Again, density equals dollars. Now, there's a very simple formula for this. And what we want to do with that is show you what that formula is. First, you want to find a desirable property. Now, and I don't mean it's pretty. I don't mean it's in a great neighborhood. What I mean is it's not utilizing its best use. And what you're going to do is step 2 is identify all available uses for that property. You're going to pick the most dense use in step number 3. What's the most dense thing I can do on that property? Then in step 4, you're actually going to compare how much does it cost to buy the property in its current use? How much would I have to spend to change it to the new use and to what it can be? And then number 5, I'm simply going to compare the acquisition cost plus the cost to change versus the future value. A simple example of that is I buy a house on a lot, I tear it out and build a 10-plex, a 10-unit apartment complex. How much does it cost me to build a 10-plex? How much did the land purchase cost? I add those 2 together, and then I compare that number to what's that 10-plex, that brand new sparkling 10-plex with high rents because it's brand new, what's that building worth? Now, at the end of step 5, if there's a profit of at least 20%, we're going to get busy. We're going to get after it. So again, we're going to change the use, we change the value. Change the use, change the value. That's what we do, highest and best use. Now, instead of doing carpet and paint rehabs, we change the value by changing the use. I identify the highest and best use. And my most successful investors will actually go into the city, identify the best uses, what zones they're allowed in, and then they'll start going through those zones for properties that are for sale, for properties that fit what the new use would be, and then they just go after those properties. And they know, because they've identified the best zoning, they've identified the best uses. If they find properties in that area that don't have that best use, they've got a potential deal there. They can knock doors, they can mail, they can find the properties that are for sale. We find properties all the time that are for sale currently as they are, and we simply have to change them. Now, traditional investors that do wholesaling and rehabs love, love, love our program. And here's why. A lot of them get tired of finding the wholesaling deals, finding the rehabs, hoping they can make money on them. And even the successful wholesalers and rehabbers love this, simply because this process teaches you to look at deals that no one else is looking at. You can literally go find the best uses in a zone, find the properties that aren't utilizing those uses, and go after those. And many of those properties aren't for sale. So it becomes a campaign of talking to the property owners and making purchases. The other reason traditional investors love this is that many of the properties wholesalers buy actually have a higher and better use. And instead of just buying it and wholesaling it out to someone else, they say to themselves, gosh, instead of making a smaller wholesale profit here, even on a lot of properties, I can cherry pick the properties that have better uses, keep those, change the uses, and make even more money while I'm wholesaling. Additionally, the rehabbers can kind of do the same thing. If you're a successful rehabber, a lot of the properties that you're spending valuable money to rehab could have just been fixed up with a track hoe. And what I mean by that is you tear that house out, instead of putting lipstick on a pig, carpet and paint, rehab an old house, we tear that house out with a track hoe and go to its higher and better use and profit even further. So real quick explanation, highest and best use. Get involved, guys. Message me. I'd love to hear from you if you want to learn more about our programs and some of the things we do. Give me a call. Happy investing. Have a great day.